LPT request how to secretly but accurately measure ring size. Planning to propose. Unplanned. And would like to do it using a ring that fits. How is that done without blowing the surprise? Is there some magic tip or is it just best guess? Can they be adjusted if I get it wrong? Edit just for clarity. Intended fiancé is male and doesn't own any rings. Edit 2. Thank you for all the advice. I think my best bet is just to sneakily compare fingers and use the closest match to my own hand. That will work if platinum rings can be resized, but I see mixed responses on whether platinum can be resized. Tie. My husband did it this way. He said, I read on the internet that your ring size can determine if you are eating too much salt. And that a person of your height should be this. Let's measure and see. I believed him because it seemed like something we'd test for. Years ago, I was able to find an adjustable plastic ring measurer online for $1 or $2. And slipped it on while she slept. Perfect fit. Might not work with a light sleeper though. Get one of those hand casting plaster kits. Tell her you thought it would be fun to put in the Halloween candy bowl. Sneak it out of the house later to the jeweler. I had to do this to buy a ring for my wife on a Caribbean island without her knowing. I found a couple of her unused rings in her jewelry box and measured the inner diameter and then cut some floss to get the circumference. In the end I nailed the size, but it didn't really matter as the jewelry store that they could just exchange it for whatever would fit better. Alright, what I did was when she was asleep I took a picture of her hand with a ruler in the picture. She didn't have any cheap rings or anything in her jewelry box, so I did what I could. The people at jewelry store were able to figure out what size she was. Put her finger in your mouth and don't move it, run to the jewelry store. You could always buy a cheap or simple ring as a random gift casually. And see firsthand or ask how it fits them, then go up or down sizes from there, or alternatively, choose a size that would definitely be too big or small of the small gift ring and just be like, oh, it's way too small. What's your ring size? I'll go get the correct size. Hand mold candles. They made these kits where you make a candle out of a mold of your hand. It can be a quirky date night idea with a bottle of wine and you get a cool candle out of it. Shouldn't be too on the nose to show your hand, pun intended. Measure it with floss or something while she sleeps. Also, fingers are not all the same size. So even if she did have some rings, chances are she's not wearing them specifically on her left ring finger. So they might not even be the right size for it. Go to a pawn shop as a fun date night activity. They often sell old cheap movies, so the plan can be to go look and pick out something outrageous. Then have a drunken movie night. While they suggest trying on the most gaudy rings they have and get yourself sized so they feel the need to as well. Also, pawn shops are super cool and some favorite date nights started out there, so have fun. Go ring shopping together. Marriage proposals don't need a ring. And probably shouldn't be a surprise. I highly recommend deeply discussing marriage if you have not yet done so. My partner got me drunk and then when I was asleep he measured my ring finger with the adjustable plastic ring measurer. He managed to get the right size and I didn't know anything until the ring arrived. Don't just buy the ring. Propose. Then take her to have it sized. It's very common to do this. Ask the jeweler up front about sizing though, because the price can vary between $20 to several hundred depending on how complicated it is to resize the ring. Surprise proposals are not the great idea you think they are. Start a conversation about marriage someday and see how that goes. Find an excuse to be in mall together and ask if she likes any of the rings. If she finds one she likes them, get her measured because you never know what might happen someday. Now pause a few weeks and then pull your big romantic gesture. She'll still be thrilled, plus the ring will be the sort she wants, plus she's already had a chance to get excited and be ready. She'll still be surprised, just not shocked. I'd recommend just taking her ring shopping. Then she can help pick out a ring she'll love and it'll fit. Remember, she'll be wearing this daily for hopefully the rest of her life. So having her input is a good thing. The proposal can be a surprise, but the ring should be a joint effort. I bought and designed a ring for my wife to be a one-of-a-kind. I did not know her ring size at all. I just paid for a resizing ahead of time. It was rather inexpensive. Luckily it fit perfect the first time. Ask them what size ring they wear. It's okay to surprise someone with the details of a proposal. But nobody should ever be surprised that the proposal came. One friend went into the jewelry store and held hands with everyone there. They measured the person whose fingers felt the closest to his GF and went with that. Perfect fit. Usually resizing is not very expensive at all. Some jewelers will even include it in the purchase. Another idea. Manicure and have the manicurist measure for you cause she's curious. Tip a bunch of the workers and it can be like a huge gossip thing between them. While holding hands, try to find one of your fingers that is bigger than their ring finger and one that is smaller. Then go to a jeweler and try on rings yourself and split the difference. Might not be perfect, but you should be getting really close. Alternately, if you can get them pretty wasted drunk, sleeping very soundly, and have a cloth metric tape measure. Take a measurement while they are asleep. Sheesh. Unplanned? My mom's sister helped me with my wife, haha. They had a ring sizer and were pretending to size theirs and gave it to my wife to try. I likely knew that she knew what we were doing, but what the heck. Measure with piece of paper or floss while he's asleep. Find out the circumference in him and look up the ring size chart. Eyeball it. Maybe while comparing the size of your hands while holding them up. Planning to propose. Unplanned. Hey, good luck. Ask sister or mom if possible. Chances are she's tried theirs on before and they know now. If they wear rings, you can usually take one to a jeweler and have it measured. There's also enlisting a friend to secretly get them to try on rings. But you'd both probably be better off long term to pick out a ring together. Remember, the timing and manner of the proposal should be a surprise. But the fact of it shouldn't be. Engagement shouldn't be a complete surprise. Just ask her. The only surprise should be when you do it, not if. Lol, everybody assuming the partner is a woman. I had an opportunity to put a ring of her, without her knowing, and it happened to fit my left pinky perfectly. I was able to surprise her on our wedding day with a ring she had never seen. I got lucky. I heard that most places will resize a ring, if you want to maintain the surprise. That right there is a high-risk proposal. Get one that's deliberately too big so you have to go get it resized together. And give her the opportunity to switch up the ring style. If she didn't wear rings already, and you haven't done any window shopping, you are in real danger of getting her something that didn't suit. Be sure and have a ring fit gadget or tape in your pocket so she can make do in the meantime. Since you said that you're proposing to another guy, just buy a ring for yourself. If you think he has smaller hands than you, buy a pinky ring. If you think he has larger hands, buy a ring for your middle finger or thumb. Wear your new ring. Then show it to him and ask him if he likes it. Take it off your finger so he can look at it more closely. Tell him that he can borrow it sometime if he wants to and see if he'll try it on. If you're worried that will tip him off, you can get a friend to do it. Does he wear any gloves for biking, lifting, driving? If so, you may be able to use that for a rough estimate as well.